Across the world, people will do great work in a structured way, unstructured way, formal way, informal way, organized or disorganized way. At the end, all chapters all around the world are making social impact in one way or the other. What you see here is a formal structure that PMI has put together in order to make social impact. And there are several components to this, products and offerings, chapters, members and volunteers, we are all a part of it. So Project Management Institute Foundation is one part of that whole story. And this is like we have foundations in the corporates that we work. So this is the foundation of PMI, and almost 95% of funding happens from PMI. So it's like a corporate giving, like in India you have a 2% CSR, 2% of the annual revenue should go to a CSR, not that PMI gets 2%, but it's a similar model that it's funded by the parent organization for creating social impact. What the Education Foundation does is to focus on the youth and the children in the age of 5 to 19. Not that we taught a 5-year-old about project management, I don't think we did, but just a symbolic to start from where it is, from a kindergarten school up till 19 is one category of people. And then from 19 up to 35 is what you saw as the rising leaders, people who are in graduation, post-graduation, and young professionals and all. So that's another segment for. So the Education Foundation works through youth-serving non-profit organizations, not really through the chapters. That's the board of directors spread all across the late Mr. Eric Norman was the chair of the board, so he passed away about a couple of months back due to relapse of cancer, but these are the 8 board of directors. So the mission is very clear for EF, so it's very, very focused on that youth, enabling youth to realize their potential and transform their lives through project management. I'll tell you how. And that is done about 5 years back. There was a strategic session where EF decided that we cannot reach scale if we have to just do all this alone, or we don't have a formal structure to do it through the chapters and all. So better do it through global youth-serving non-profit organizations that have got a wider reach and that have got also all the structure and mechanism to do that. So our goal is to forge partnerships. It's up there to read. So it's going through youth-serving non-profits. And this is the PMI youth strategy. The social impact is all over. For example, if we are funding educating children or rebuilding something in Ukraine, that's a part of social impact, not just in education, but also something else. So the social impact goes all over the place. 5 to 75, but the youth strategy is between 5 to 35, and in between that youth strategy, there is a 5 to 19-year-old that's covered by Education Foundation. Quickly to tell you what's been last year, we gave away some millions of dollars to youth-serving non-profits and impacted more than 1 billion youth all over the world. These are some examples. So how do we measure the impact? That's through a definition called enablement that's there on the right side. And enablement is something that if someone has attended a course in project management or taken a test in a project management or got a certification in project management, in one way or the other touched by a project management skill, that's defined as an enablement. More than 1 million enablements were made last year through the youth-serving non-profits. So here is what's the target for this year. And there are some examples of those youth-serving non-profits. Example, Discover E on the top left. If you will see, that's a global NGO that's very focused on building STEM skills, like what this is, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So Discover E is focused on just growing this. So we fund them and then help them build a project management content as a training skill, as a life skill, and then they go and teach this beside the STEM skills, then they go and teach project management skills. So that's the 5th one. That's an example. Children International, it's in F1 in schools. You saw a video just now. That's F1 in schools is a global competition they're doing all over the world. It happened just in June of this year. Last year we funded them, about 2 years we are funding them. They teach, the F1 schools teach children how to build a mini car, and then they give some design principles and all that, and they use CAD/CAM to go and build the car. And we teach all those students project management skills. So they adopted some of those skills, and also I was actually really amazed at even they did a good risk management and nice stakeholder management and all as a part of that plan to do, which we don't do sometimes in our day-to-day work. So that's about F1 in schools. Special Olympics, as an example, Special Olympics is conducted for people with intellectual disabilities. It's physical disability, there are Olympics and there are normal Olympics. Now there's a third kind of Olympics that is done for people with intellectual disabilities. So we, and by the way, in India also PMI at some point of time has helped Special Olympics teams by training them and all that. The place where I work in my day job, we did a community eye screening program for all of those who have participated in this Special Olympics. So we have funded them. All those students who will go through the Special Olympics, through that competition that will happen in Berlin sometime next year, they will all go through a project management introductory course and they build it. So these are all variety of, and junior achievement. Junior achievement is spread all over the world. PMI used to work with junior achievement some years back. I think they wound up operations in India for some reason, but they are spread really worldwide and all. And PMI works with, EF works with junior achievement for 7 or 8 years now, and would have given more than $10 million of sole grant to them. So we in 16 countries, and these organizations will also develop training content of learning management systems or a platform that people can actually reuse for several years. YSMPs that work in this Asia Pacific and Middle East region, so that coverage is really global. Also, it covers several languages, several countries are attached to this. Often asked, because in chapter we work on the local programs and all, but there's an opportunity to volunteer. For example, working with all of those youth-serving non-profits, there is a need for a lot of volunteers to go and teach or help in building curriculum. JA Africa, they teach children. Someone else is teaching someone in JA Ireland. So there are opportunities always, not just to do it here, but also virtually to go and teach. Sometimes there are opportunities to review scholarship application, being a judge on competitions, so that's another one. So likewise, there are several opportunities to do volunteering for the youth serving non-profits, and they come up in VRMS system if anyone is interested to do that. So that part is about the education foundation and all. These are the second part about and this is done by all of you, right? I'm just standing here showing you the slide, but actually the work is done by you and your chapter volunteers and chapter board members across. This part is given to me by Lena. So Lena works closely along with these chapters, not just in this region, but also across the world. These are representative pictures of all the work done. So some of you and your team members will show up in this. So social impact is fundamentally about change, and it's about transforming the lives. EF focuses like catch them young, so catch them very young and then transform. Let them be aware that project management can be a good life skill going forward in their lives and all. That's what we do. So let's help make the world better. Thank you very much.
But I can see India there, we have been doing a lot of social impact in our region also. So wanted to understand how we are going to extend this. How do we extend this, or if I understand, if I have something.
The slides will come up. We have just given a funding, but still that will be driven by the JA Asia Pacific through their organization and all, and whenever there is a need for any volunteers and all, that's when we will come in. Lina, you want to take this?
It's in India, Children International. That's another recent partnership with the Education Foundation. So we are working to see how we can collaborate, with India chapters or rather the South Asia chapters. In the long run, that is what we are going to, consider, where how we can take help from the region chapters and work towards fulfilling these partnerships.
Other than the social impact program, so in Sri Lanka we have done certain programs in the previous year, and now we are getting some requests from universities and other schools. So that is something, programs other than CFA, so for students, right? So if we can give some recognition for them, like not a CFM level because they are like students, through the PMI if we have certain badges or certifications and provide support for them.
Yeah, called academic engagement group within PMI. They are the ones whose target market, if you will say from a marketing sense, but their focus is on 19 to 35 and all. They are the ones who are actually working with universities, colleges and all that. I think here Uday, in our region, Uday is the one who works with all of those. That's one part. So we can actually go through academic engagement and then get an MOU signed with a university and then take a project management into their program. That's one part. A second one is giving them scholarships, that there are, PMI announces these scholarships and all for research, for study and all that. If you can spread that word among them, so some of the students from those universities actually can apply and then win some of those scholarships, and those scholarships run for multiple years. For example, if they are winning for a 4-year engineering course, the scholarship will run for 4 years and all that. Or if someone has finished business management course, want to do a research in project management and all, PMI funds them. So that's another opportunity.